This is the spectacular coast of Lower Alaska, a region of action and spectacle on the grand scale. And this is nature's superlative setting for that drama, 60-mile-long Glacier Bay. The world at large first learned of the wonders of this dramatic meeting of mountain, water, and ice from John Muir's lively description. According to Muir,
the icebergs are born with an awful roaring. Tons of water streaming like hair down the sides, while they heave and plunge again and again, before they settle in poise and sail away as blue crystal islands, free at last. The 5,040 square miles that are today Glacier Bay National Park are an expansive laboratory for hundreds of naturalists. Here among the massive walls of ice, the towering white fangs of frozen mountains, and the deep, picturesque fjords, scientists can gain insight into the powerful forces that shaped our planet. An advancing glacier has been compared to a combination of a bulldozer and a conveyor belt. It pushes and carries debris forward from the mountains. For a while, the glacier will slide forward. When it reaches deep water, it melts back in retreat, then gathers power and advances again. Eventually, what is left behind are scoured landscapes newly emerged from an ice age. Here, one may step onto land just awakening from a winter's night that may have lasted 10 centuries. The virgin land, newly released from the ice, gives birth to tiny plants. Grasses and flowers begin to take a precarious foothold. The green conquest of the glacier-scraped land has begun. One day a lush forest will stand here, as it does in many of the valleys bordering Glacier Bay. Then, perhaps in a few thousand years, another ice advance will doom the forest, and the glacial cycle will begin again. Meanwhile, the bayside woodlands provide home and forage for an impressive array of Alaskan wildlife, including the bald eagle, the grizzly bear, and the moose. During the long days of summer, clouds of seabirds descend on Glacier Bay. More than 200 species have been recorded within the park.
It is appropriate that a place of such superlatives, of natural forces on such an enormous scale, would be the playground and dinner table for the Earth's largest creature. The minke, the orca, and even the rare and endangered humpback can be spotted in these waters. Other lessons from nature, as well as inspiration from fable, await beyond the horizon, in a land not of ice, but of tropical trade winds. Thousands of miles to the southwest, in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, dawn breaks over a mystical panorama of mountains, sea, and clouds. It is sunrise over Haleakala Crater, some 10,000 feet above the Pacific, the crown of the island of Maui in Hawaii. An interplay of nature so ancient that the human observer is dwarfed, an incidental witness to an eternal process. Ancient Hawaiians felt that this spot was sacred. Their legends tell of the time when the demigod Maui came here to slow down the sun with his lasso. Hawaiians named this place Haleakala, the House of the Sun. Haleakala is actually the upper 2 miles of a volcano that extends another 3 miles below the ocean's surface. If the entire volcano were above ground, it would be one of the highest mountains in the world. Over the millennia, the peak of Haleakala eroded. Heavy rains turned the soft, ashy earth into torrential rivers that carried away the soil and hollowed out a huge bowl in the mountain. The result is a crater of surpassing beauty, 7.5 miles long, 2.5 miles wide. Rain clouds and mists drifting below the rim create constantly changing patterns of light and shadow, as well as unsettled weather. In fact, despite Hawaii's reputation for balmy weather, Haleakala's high altitude brings alpine conditions. Nighttime temperatures frequently dip below freezing. Like the Olympics and most other mountains, Haleakala's rugged slopes form a natural barrier, or rain shadow, against the moist trade winds that blow in from the west. The rain shadow causes the air to drop most of its moisture on the north and east sides of the volcano, creating spectacular waterfalls and freshwater pools on the outer slopes of the mountain.
I have a surprise for the whole family.
But this lush abundance is an exception. Inside the crater, the fiery rivers of lava have created a landscape at once splendid and austere. So isolated is Hawaii that 90% of all plant species native to the islands are found nowhere else in the world.
A free
One is the
trip to the
fragile silver
aquarium.
sword that blooms on the slopes of Haliacmon. The fuzz on the silver sword's spiky gray leaves conserves the moisture that the volcanic earth cannot hold. Each plant lives between 5 and 20 years until, in a last burst of vitality, it sends forth one magnificent flower stalk as high as 9 feet, bearing as many as 200 blossoms. Animal life is adapted to this strange environment as well. Hawaii's state bird, the nene, may be the only goose more comfortable out of water than in it. The nene developed scanty webbing on its feet in order to walk on the rough lava more easily. An estimated population numbering 25,000 in the time of Captain Cook has been reduced to less than 300. Today, the crater is a wildlife preserve, shielded from the onslaught of the once encroaching sugarcane and tourist industries, and offers a protective environment for all of its inhabitants, even humans, who can experience the mystery of this colossal volcano in any number of ways, from the sedate to the intrepid. But the peak experience at Haleakala still belongs to those who are willing to brave the cold winds. Praying for a break in the chancy weather, they stand in awe of the spectacle of a new dawn, much as the god Maui must have seen it when he first cast out his rope to slow down a speeding sun. Here on Hawaii's sacred mountain is a fitting place to ponder the message that nature has made most clear. All creations of the natural world interact upon one another, and the human species is part of nature's system. Thus, we must each be accountable for the way our own actions may affect the natural order, the order that reaches such spectacular climax in treasures such as these, scenic wonders of America.